Ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha. I admit I was at a loss as to what category to actually put this video into, whether it be gaming news, dirty devs, or the Asset Flippers series of videos. This one somehow manages to qualify for all three at once, and given this involves two content creators, let's start at the beginning. This is JakeyEXe, or however the hell you pronounce his name. He is a German Twitch streamer and YouTuber with over 20,000 followers on Twitch. He is your standard run-of-the-mill streamer that focuses heavily on the gambling game flavor of the month like PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds and CSGO. Recently, a game appeared on Steam that will be launching into early access in about 3 days from the time this video was recorded. That game, titled Unkown Survival, an obvious attempt to piggyback on the naming scheme of PlayerUnknown's Battlegrounds, is yet another in a now exceptionally long list of asset flips of the Unity store asset Ultimate Survival. This asset pack has been copied so many times to be pawned off on unsuspecting gamers that it now rivals Unit Z in its popularity with asset flippers. Road85, a YouTuber with a little over 400 subscribers, received a review code for Unkown Survival from JakeyEXe and produced a critique of the game that was unsurprisingly unflattering of the asset flip. And JakeyEXe, to no one's great surprise, decided to abuse the DMCA system and forcibly take down the review. Now, this sort of thing, I know from personal experience, is a fairly common occurrence when dealing with asset flippers from another country when they find themselves dealing with a smaller channel who has provided their asset flips with negative critique. Instead of acting like a professional or even a decent human being, these asset flippers resort to filing spurious copyright strikes in order to strong-arm smaller channels into silence, removing the negative critique of their products during the most critical times possible. They give no thought to the legality of what they are doing or how their spurious DMCA strikes affect those they are harming. Now, in spite of my better judgment, I reached out to JakeyEXe in order to get a comment from him, and surprisingly enough, he actually responded. Unsurprisingly, however, he is completely unrepentant over the DMCA strike and has made some claims that don't seem to pencil for me given my own experiences over the past couple of years. His statements, when not outright incorrect, are probably completely fabricated. Now, in his initial response to my request for a statement, Jakey stated that YouTube would not have allowed the DMCA strike to happen if the claim did not have merit. This is patently false and is in no way accurate by any stretch of the imagination. You see, YouTube operates under the safe harbor provisioning of the DMCA system. This requires YouTube to promptly take down content accused of violating copyright in a timely fashion. Quite literally, YouTube does not make any determination in these instances unless it is completely incontrovertible that the video being claimed falls under fair use. Now, such instances are extremely rare, however, and YouTube adopts a better safe than sorry stance, so they will not risk losing their safe harbor protection, which, if lost, would make YouTube liable for any content uploaded to their platform. This would spell the death of any streaming service and is not something that YouTube will ever risk having happen. Also, Jakey stated that the DMCA was not over the review itself, but because of 2 minutes of video taken from Jakey's channel unrelated to the review itself. Again, for the purposes of critique, news, and parody, those 2 minutes are most likely used as a visual aid while Road85 discussed Jakey's current status as a content creator. It is something I do quite often myself, and I have even done so within this video. This sort of thing is 100% fair use, and thanks to Ethan and Ela Klein of H3H3 Productions winning their recent court case, we even have a judge ruling in the affirmation of that fact. Jakey continued on to state that his MCN tracks all videos under their umbrella and automatically filed the DMCA strike against Road85. And when I confronted Jakey with the fact that the video was manually filed using Jakey's own email address, he stated that the MCN has full access to his YouTube channel, which I can affirm is actually factually correct from my own experiences with the MCN I used to be with. However, the MCN does not have access to your email address. So Jakey's assertion that his MCN filed the DMCA strike I find to be highly suspect and is most likely untrue. Also, Jakey has begun deleting any and all discussion threads on the Steam storefront of his product, as I simply cannot bring myself to call this thing a game, that discusses his filing a spurious DMCA strike against a smaller channel that did nothing more than produce a critique of a product that he had provided review code for. Now, this is despicable behavior no matter the circumstance, but it is even more abhorrent considering the fact that Jakey is a content creator himself, and quite frankly, he should have known better. But there does not seem to be any accounting for character, and given we're dealing with an admitted asset flipper, I suppose expecting him to act with any sense of morality or ethics would be far too much to hope for. And the worst part is, JakeyExe will most likely get away with what he has done with absolutely no repercussions, causing damage to a smaller channel who is not provided any tools with which to defend himself, and more often than not, these channels lack the monetary means to pursue justice either way. Given JakeyExe is in Germany, any lawsuit would be prohibitively expensive. This is why people like him pick on these smaller channels, because they know full well there will be no repercussions for their actions, leaving them with no incentive not to break the law as JakeyExe has done here. But at the very least, we can show some support for a channel who does not have a large enough voice to do so on their own. The Streisand effect can be a powerful thing, as we all know, and what can be done is to spread the word, to show support for Road 85, and to make sure people know to avoid this asset flip. We may not be able to get legal justice for things like this, but if more gamers can be warned away from a blatantly anti-consumer plagiarism of a product and be steered towards a channel that deserves visibility, then that will be something at least. So please do go visit Road 85's channel and maybe consider giving him a subscribe if you like what you see. And tell him SidAlpha sent you. I dislike issuing calls to action, but when they're to send everyone to support a channel that deserves it and not to attack someone else, then I'm actually pretty okay with it. And as always, please do let me know what you think about all of this down in the comments below. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, I am SidAlpha, and I'll see you next time.